afternoon, everyone. Tuning in virtually as well as in person. We appreciate you all being here today. I'm Lieutenant Forrester. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Law Enforcement Division of the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. And we invited the media here today to give an update on a case that occurred on August 2nd, 2025 at Shearon Harris Lake, resulting in the death of a 10-year-old girl and critically injuring another adult female. So we appreciate you all being here. And as I mentioned, just want to give you an update on the case. I want to recognize a few of the attendees here today and some of the speakers. First of all, we have District Attorney Jeff Neiman. He's the District Attorney for the 18th Prosecutorial District here in North Carolina. We appreciate his cooperation and support for being here. We have Colonel Ben Meyer, the Colonel of North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission Law Enforcement Division. We have Captain Nathan Green. He's the Captain of District 5, which encompasses Chatham County where the incident occurred. We have Sergeant Claude Smith. He's the Sergeant for the area that also encompasses Chatham County. We also have a special guest here with us today, Ms. Emily Ferraro. She's the State Executive Director for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. We appreciate her being here and her support with us today as well. I want to start out by just saying, this is an incident that occurred on August 2nd. There's been a lot of media attention about this, and we just want to get some of the facts out there. There's been a lot of questions and things about it, so we want to present some of the facts. At the very end, we'll open it up to any questions that the media may have. We'll be glad to answer any questions, but I want to reiterate that this is a very important case, and with some of the things we will not be able to share just due to the nature of the evidence and the investigation that's still ongoing. So please keep that in mind with any questions that you may ask. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Captain Nathan Green. He'll be the first one to speak, and he'll provide an update on the investigation of the case.
Hello, everyone. So we wanted to invite everybody in here today, along with District Attorney Jeff Neiman, to provide an opportunity to be as transparent as we possibly can regarding this tragic event that occurred on August 2nd, 2025 in Shearon Harris Reservoir. We'll provide you with as much accurate information as possible. With that said, as each of you know, there are some of the facts that we're not going to be able to release to you due to that pending case and ongoing investigation. There's also going to be some other portions that we will not share with you for obvious reasons. I've worked with many of you throughout the last few days, as many of our officers have, right there in District 5. And so I trust fully that you will understand and respect that approach. I do appreciate your work so far in shedding light on this case and this tragic event. Before we go any further, I want to first express our deepest sympathy for Brooklyn May Carroll, Brooklyn May Carroll's family and friends, to Jennifer Staley and the Staley family, and others who were directly impacted by this tragic incident, again, that occurred on Shearon Harris Reservoir last Saturday. To provide a clear understanding of those events, I will try to move through them as concisely as possible. On August 2nd, 2025, at approximately 4:30 p.m., the Staley family and friends were enjoying their day on the water at Shearon Harris Reservoir in Chatham County. One of the guests that day was 10-year-old Brooklyn May Carroll. Brooklyn was swimming with another child, along with one adult female, Jennifer Staley. They were in close proximity to the Staley's family boat, positioned to the rear of that boat. I would note that Brooklyn Carroll was a guest of the Staleys on that day. The only reason that I bring that up is I've been asked multiple times throughout this week as to whether or not they were related. During that same time that the swimmers were in the water, a 22-foot Tiege wake boat was pulling two separate occupants. They were being towed on wakeboards behind the vessel. The operator of the Tiege boat was determined to be Mr. Quentin Kite. As Kite operated the vessel towards the direction of the Staley boat, one of the people on the wakeboards fell to the water. As many, if not all, of the occupants on board looked towards the wakeboard, towards the rear of the boat, this Tees boat soon traveled near the sailor's vessel, striking 2 of the 3 swimmers. One of the individuals was Jennifer Ann Staley, and the other was 10-year-old Brooklyn May Carroll. It is evident that both were struck by the boat's propeller, causing serious and even fatal injuries. Ms. Staley suffered very serious injuries to her lower extremities. She remains in the hospital where she is undergoing continued treatment and medical assessments. Sadly, Brooklyn May Carroll succumbed to her injuries on that day. Chatham County 911 was contacted at 4:34 p.m. Emergency services were immediately dispatched to include the Chatham County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff's Office, Fire, EMS, and the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. Our law enforcement dispatchers were soon contacted, who subsequently reached out to wildlife law enforcement officers that were on duty on that day. 2 of those officers arrived at around 5 p.m. that afternoon. They were followed by many other officers from surrounding counties. Wildlife officers conducted an investigation, placing Mr. Kite under arrest. Mr. Kite was then transported to the corrections office there, or the detention center in Chatham County at that time. Charges for Quentin Kite that he was subsequently charged with was felony death by impaired boating, misdemeanor DWI of a motor vessel, and then later there were additional charges filed, one of which was careless and reckless operation of a motor vessel. The other was the felony of inflicting serious bodily injury by impaired boating. Kite received a 48-hour hold as it was discovered that he had a pending charge out of Moore County. Kite remains in the Chatham County Jail and is currently under a $500,000 secured bond. As evidence continued to be collected and compiled, the decision was soon made to arrest the owner of the vessel, who Kite also lived with. The registered owner of this 22-foot Tees boat was found to be Anne Marie Flanagan of Bass. Ms. Flanagan was present and on board at the time of the incident. Flanagan was arrested on August 5th by North Carolina wildlife officers. She was arrested for aiding and abetting felony serious bodily injury inflicted by impaired boating, aiding and abetting felony death by impaired boating, aiding and abetting misdemeanor DWI on a motor vessel. Flanagan is currently in jail under a $500,000 secured bond. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission and our officers remain dedicated to providing a safe environment for all North Carolinians and visitors to enjoy our state's lakes and waterways. I want everyone to know that we are working diligently to continue our efforts on this case. We continue to work with our law enforcement partners locally and throughout the state, as well as our district attorney, Mr. Jeff Neiman, that is here today. We owe it to the Staley family, to the family of 10-year-old Brooklyn, to Brooklyn herself, and the citizens of this state. I would also like to thank everyone who has assisted and who continues to assist with this investigation, including the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, North Carolina ALE, North Carolina State Highway Patrol, the Chatham County Sheriff's Department, First Health, and of course local fire and EMS, as well as our team of dedicated wildlife officers who continue to work tirelessly on this case. Boating safety is extremely important to us as an agency and to boaters. Before we open up the questions and move towards the closing, I would like to remind everyone about the importance of sober boating. The actions of a few can alter the lives of many. A few reminders on this. Alcohol often is a contributing factor to boating incidents throughout the state. These boaters when consuming alcohol can be affected in ways such as it slowing down reaction time, depth perception, judgment, and overall it just negatively affects that mental and physical capabilities. It also is increased with its effects due to stressors such as the wind, the motion of the vessel, whether or not you ate that day. All of those things add into that. Operating a vessel while under the influence of an impairing substance and or having a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or greater is illegal. The use of alcohol or drugs is also dangerous for passengers. It can cause passengers to fall overboard, to drown, or be struck by propellers. Overall, we ask that you refrain from mixing alcohol and boating. Mixing the two could cause you to be arrested, or worse, it could cause you to alter the lives of many. But at this time, I would like to turn it over to District Attorney Jeff.
Thank you, Captain. First, I want to emphasize that each of these defendants is innocent under the law until proven, and unless proven guilty in a court of law. As most of you probably know, the rules of professional conduct substantially limit what a prosecutor can say regarding a pending case. And for good reason. All criminal defendants are entitled to a fair trial, and it is my sworn duty as district attorney to ensure that that happens in this case. My primary purpose for being here is to show support for and solidarity with the fine work that has been done by the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission and for the officers who have worked diligently to investigate this matter. I understand that you may have questions, and when and if that happens, I hope you can understand that it's very possible that you will often hear a response of, I can't comment on that, and I hope you can understand that the first and foremost duty of mine is to make sure that this case is prosecuted fairly and under the law. With that, I'll turn it back over to Lieutenant.
Thank you, Mr. District Attorney. This time, we do have a statement from the family of Brooklyn Carroll. They've asked that we share this statement from the family, and Colonel Bidmeyer has agreed to read that statement from the family. So at this time, we'll ask Colonel Meyer to come up and read that statement from the family.
Thank you, Lieutenant Overlook. Again, my name is Ben Meyer. I am the Colonel of North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission Law Enforcement Division. I'm just going to share this brief statement that the Carroll family asked me to convey, remembering their daughter. So, Brooklyn was a caring, funny, compassionate girl and deeply sensitive. She had the biggest heart and an incredible gift for making others feel seen, loved, and included. Her greatest joy was bringing happiness to those around her and making sure no one ever felt left out. Her family, her friends, and her dogs were her world. She had a uniquely goofy, wonderfully weird sense of humor that could brighten anyone's day, and it was part of what made her so unforgettable. She always knew how to bring a smile to your face. She was the kind of person whose light made everything around her better. Everyone who knew her felt lucky to be a part of her life, and her memory will be cherished always. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Meyer. Before we wrap up today, I just want to reiterate a few things that we've spoken about today. We have Labor Day is typically the close of the summer boating season. So we have a few more weeks of the typical boating season here in North Carolina for people to go out and enjoy their boats out on the waters of this state. So I just want to reiterate something that Captain Green said. You know, we encourage people to be out there, and it's our job as wildlife officers to ensure that people have a good time, but that they're safe. And as an agency, one of our primary goals is to promote boating safety. But as you can see, this is a perfect example of a case where sometimes we just want to make sure that people follow the rules out there. Don't operate a vessel if you've had too much alcohol. One of the things that we say, whether you're driving a vehicle on the road, with the upcoming holiday season of Labor Day, make sure if your alcohol is part of your plans that you get a designated driver, or that you exclude alcohol from your plans. So we just want to reiterate that for the upcoming rest of the voting season. Again, before we open it up to any questions, I want to reiterate that there will be some questions that we cannot answer based on the ongoing investigation. But if anybody does have any questions, we would like to open that up to anyone at this time.
Lexi Solomon, News and Observer. How many people in total were on the boat operated by Mr. Kite?
Yes, ma'am. It has been determined by our officers on Mr. Kite's vessel. There was 8 that were on the vessel, 2 also being towed, giving a total of 10 people connected with that vessel. Yes, ma'am.
And as for the ages of the folks who were being towed, do we know if those were minors or adults, or can you comment on that at all?
Both of those were adults. Yes, ma'am.
Any further questions? All right, if there's no further questions, again, I'd like to thank people who have tuned in online, virtually, as well as in person. And again, I just want to reiterate, please be safe this summer if you're out there boating. Please don't operate a vessel while impaired, whether that's on the highways or on the waters of the state. Please be careful with that. And with that, we will close. And again, we want to thank everybody for participating in this press conference. Thank you.